How's everybody doing? This is Keith and Mike, and this is our installment of It's Not Just Black or White. Now, we came up with this in a couple of ways. The first way was Keith and I would always get together. We've known each other for like 8 years now. And we've got together and had a couple drinks and just started talking about things, about life, about families, religion, politics, you name it. And we were sitting there thinking one day, we're like, man, we need to come up with a show. And Keith's like, man, we got to do it. So here we are. This is our first installment of It's Not Just Black or White.
It's not just black or white. And you know what? For our first installment, I think it's appropriate for us to kind of give you a little bit more background on why we're doing this, you know, why it makes sense to us, and we hope that it makes sense to you. You know, it's a situation where we have, it's myself, we've got Mike, and, you know, we're both fathers, we're both coaches, we met coaching together. we do a lot of things that are very similar. But at the same time, we bring two different perspectives on views on different subjects and so on. So as we sat around and we found ourselves talking on different subjects, we thought we had some real interesting conversation, and we want to share it with you guys, you know. And the biggest thing is that I believe that the things that we want for our families, for our kids, our wives, for us, you know, when you really look at it, they're really the same, but it's from two different perspectives. So that's the title. It's not black or white. Nothing is black or white, no matter what it is that you're talking about. And we'll tell you, here's the honest truth. This is really our second show. Our first show, we did it. We had a lot of fun doing it. And we got some feedback on it, and we took that feedback as positive, and we made some changes. So here's the real deal is this, you know, two guys, two fathers, whatever you want to call us, one black, one white, looking at real world issues from a different perspective. One went to college, one did not go to college, you know, but bottom line is we're both married, we both have kids, and we want the same things. So how do we deal with those things, and how do we talk about those things? And that's what brings us down to Mike's Bar, and allows us to do that with you guys. Our plans is to do this show on a regular basis. We hope to do it on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. We hope to have your feedback, your comments, and so on. So, you know, that's what our show's about. Every time you see these two guys right here, just know one thing. We're friends, and it's not just black or white.
Amen to that. So we have, you know, like Keith was saying, we got different perspectives on things. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm white and he's black. I went in the military right after high school. Got out of the military, started working right away. Keith went to college, did a great job there. He's an entrepreneur, you know. So we may see things differently,
right,
but in the end, I think we come up with one common goal, and that is, you know, just being positive about you know, life and family and relationships and that kind of thing. And I think, you know, being together for 8 years like we have, we've been through a lot.
We've done a lot together.
You know, Keith's father passed away a few years back. You know, I was there for that. It was very emotional for me, and you know, I can't even describe what it's like for him. But we've been together through thick and thin.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And we've enjoyed a lot of great times. You know, we've had some bad ones too, but
yep,
you know, I think that you know, what we're trying to show you guys is that, you know, everything isn't just black or white. Just because I'm white doesn't mean that I, you know, think that way, or, you know, so we just have a lot of different perspectives on things, and we want to portray them to you guys. We want to get you guys' feedback. You know, we just sat there and kept thinking, all the things that we talked about, why can't we get this out to the public? Why can't the common people? I know in our first show we started talking about
common people, right?
we started talking about common people, and you know, Oprah can get on and say whatever she wants. You know, Phil Donahue, and what's the other dude with the crazy people on it?
I don't know, they're all crazy.
Jerry Springer, that's what I was thinking of, Jerry Springer. You know, anybody can go up there and do that, but you know, we're coming from common people. You know, we have common families, and we're just trying to survive and do what's right. And so we want
to connect with you.
We want to definitely connect with you guys and come up with a show that's, you know, and like we said last time, common topics, you know, common people, and we just want to get it out to you guys, and, you know, hopefully we'll get some great feedback off of this, and we'll go on from there.
Sounds good. I think, you know, the subject that we're going to talk about this week is a subject that we kind of started last week, and with having the feedback that we received also allowed us to kind of expand on it. So we're, you know, the subject is really being a role model. What is a role model? And values, you know. The things that we want for our kids, for our families, as far as the people that interact with them on a daily basis, whether it's coaches, whether it's teachers, you name it, you know, the things that we want them to have and what we want them to do for our kids versus what we say we want for our kids and what we are actually doing and the role model that we are actually projecting for our kids. I think, you know, one of the things that I will always say is that I'm not my kid's friend, I'm their parent. That's kind of how I parent, but, you know, at the same time, it's only out of love that I want my kid to be able, A, to communicate with me. I want to be able to communicate with my kid, but also give them those real world experiences about life that I can hopefully head them from running into a brick wall, you know. But I will be the first to say that when you are a kid growing up, teenager, and being a young adult, those brick walls you need to run into, because that's what makes you become a man or a woman. Unfortunately, you know, don't just take somebody's word for gospel. And you know, so those are the kinds of things that we look at and we talk about. And the subject that we kind of addressed last week was the positive influences that are touching our kids, especially from a coaching perspective. You know, and Mike and I, we both have kids that are athletically inclined, and I'm sure that a lot of you do also. And you know how us as parents, we say that we're not pushing our kids in one direction or the other about athletics. And honestly, I'm not. I try not to, and I'm not going to, because
it's not easy.
It's not easy. But however, you know what? It is what it is, and if they enjoy it and they want to do it, they do it.
Yeah, I think it's easy to live through your kids. You know, you went so far. Keith played college baseball as a catcher. I never got to that level, but you know, so you can see how it's easy for, you know, me, let's say, to try to live through my kids, and I try not to do that. I catch myself once in a while doing that, but you know, I think you know, Keith and I have coached our boys from 5th grade through 8th grade, and you know, it's hard coaching your own kids, and you know, you get so attached to them that it's hard to, you know, especially Keith's son and some other kids that we've had, you know, they become my son. They're not really just some kid that I'm coaching. You know, they're like your son. They're over at your house all the time, you know, that kind of thing. So it's hard to separate yourself from being a coach, being a parent, you know, that kind of thing. So we just, you know, we're out here doing the best we can, and you know, I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, we did a great job, I believe. You know, we coached our kids. Well, particularly we coach our 2 oldest boys. Mm-hmm. Mike has 1 boy. I've got 4 boys. So, you know, here's that thing about it's not just black or white, because the perspective that we look at what we want for our kids, whether it's the boys or the girls. Mike has 2 girls. I have 1 girl. You know, it's the same, but yet it's different. You know, Mike has 1 shot, and like you said, to live through his kid some of the things and opportunities that he didn't get a chance to have, and to progress and proceed in sports. That, you know, he has 1 boy that he wants to make sure has and takes advantage of every one of those opportunities that he can provide. My perspective on it is, I've got 4 boys, and all of them are talented, down to my youngest one, my twin boys, but yet my oldest son, who is very talented, at the same time, I need him to set an example and be a role model. So here's a couple different perspectives. I would never want to try to live through him. What I do want, though, is that the people that touch him that control him. Now that I'm not coaching him, now that I'm not teaching him, he's got teachers, he's got coaches. And those are the people who spend the majority of their time with him in his life right now.